This is KEPM.
Hi Roadrunners, my name is Jordan Salcido, and this is an excuse to make something. There's something special about flying a kite on a spring day when the wind is just right. Clockshop's Kite Festival is an annual celebration of art in public spaces and its ability to bring people together. For its 6th year in a row, the Kite Festival inspires thousands to flock to LA State Historic Park and enjoy the festivities. What started in 2021 as a stand against the Dodgers' proposed gondola project, which threatened to displace and uproot communities in Chinatown, has turned into an annual celebration that many look forward to each year. Flying kites across the vast open space above LA State Historic Park reinforces the idea that the park was built upon, that parks belong to people. Each year's event surrounds a theme celebrating the cultures and people of Los Angeles. This year's theme is Take a Breath, which is a celebration of the wind that lifts our kites, the open sky above this park, and the air that connects us all, as noted in their program description. Francisco Ramos, this year's commissioned artist, created a handmade kite in a traditional Guatemalan hexagon shape. Ramos's work celebrates the joy of parks.
Y soy de Guatemala y en esta tarde estoy representando este barrilete porque, como dice el lema del festival, tómate un respiro. Y para mí, los parques son algo muy principal en la vida.
The festival encourages community members to try kite making out for themselves. Some crafted kites from plastic grocery bags or scrap pieces of paper, and others made elaborate designs with markers, paint, and colorful streamers. Youth and adult attendees can enter the handmade kite competition and showcase their work.
And our final winner is Francisco Morales. Congratulations to all the winners. We love celebrating this city's kite makers. So please sign up for next year. Get started on your kite tomorrow.
But if you didn't bring one of your own, Clockshop also offers pre-assembled paper and bamboo kites for a small donation so everyone can join in on the fun. And if you're not sure how to get your kite up in the air, kite masters are roaming the park throughout the event to support getting your kites up in the air and offer techniques for smooth sailing. There are also art making workshops, booths from local organizations, and food trucks selling an assortment of treats. On the main stage, DJs bring the soundtrack to get the crowd moving, and this year, King Dance led cumbia dance lessons as well.
Hey, together. Hey. A ver ese gritito. Hey, hey. Mire, open up, open up. Woo!
So, this time next year, be sure to keep an eye out for the event and consider making a kite of your own. You can bring a friend, bring a kite, bring a picnic blanket, take a breath, and enjoy your local public spaces with the community. And for today's episode, I thought it would be nice if we could try to make our own kite, because I made my own kite for today's celebration, and it was really simple and really fun, so I thought I'd walk us through it, and perhaps you can try making one of your own. So to begin, I went to the dollar store and I got some bamboo skewers used for barbecuing or cooking or different things, and they were found in the kitchen section, and they actually had different sizes, which I thought was really cool because I made a smaller one as well as a bigger one, and also had the idea to try making a really, really mini one out of toothpicks. I didn't try that yet, but I really like to in the future. So what I did was I got large skewer sticks as mentioned, and also some of the normal sized ones, and just used some wrapping paper that I had at home and a little bit of tape and some string that I had lying around. At last year's Kite Festival, I actually volunteered and got to meet a lot of people who were in attendance of the event. And I met 3 women who were traveling from India, and they were telling me about how special their kite festivals are in their country and how it's such a big event for them that for them when they were kids, they get their kites, they make them, they buy them, and it's this big celebration that they all really look forward to. And they come together and they fly kites. As they were describing it, they said that the whole city essentially shuts down in order for this kite flying and kite fighting as well to take place. But some things to keep in mind for your kite is that you want it to be lightweight. You don't want to weigh it down too much with any heavy materials. And you also want to consider its, aerodynamic shape. So you want to make sure that it's lightweight, can still fly, and also have a good point in the center where it can have the line attached so that it glides and has the right amount of push and pull from the wind traveling above it and below it. And I think I'm going to probably play around with different designs later. I've seen a lot of kites where the center line, or the center, in this case skewer that I'm using, was bent, and it kind of had this curved shape to it, and it looked really nice, but I also think it could help with maybe some of the tension of the kite, or maybe it just gives it some more shape, or maybe a little bit more of a curve for the air to flow through. So that's something I'm interested in looking more into later, and perhaps trying in another iteration of a kite that I'll make. But you can really be as simple or as experimental as you want to be with it. So first, I would probably do a design, if you wanted to do one, on the paper that you're using. For me, I used wrapping paper, so I just unrolled a sheet of wrapping paper and made sure that my sticks lined up nicely and cut around the shape so that I was left with somewhat of a traditional diamond-shaped kite. And I ended up drawing over it once the skewers were on, which was a little bit more difficult because then you're kind of having to go over the bumps of the sticks. So you could draw on it before you attach the sticks, but I guess either one works. So I took some markers and just did different designs, and then attached also some streamers that I had bought at the dollar store as well. And this was just really nice to kind of see it float in the sky, and it kind of added more color, and it added it's also nice to kind of see, like, okay, it's really windy, there's a lot of wind movement because you can see the streamers moving, and so it kind of helps you visualize the wind as well. But I also just want to talk about some of the kites that I saw today. I saw one kite that someone had made out of a grocery bag that was just a plastic grocery bag, the ones that you typically see where it says "Have a nice day" and it has a smiley face on it, and it worked really well. It was really nice to see how they just took something that probably would have ended up in their recycle bin and kind of reworked it to be a kite. They definitely made some cuts to it and had some string attached and a little bit of tape, so I didn't get too good of a look at how their design played into the existing shape of the bag, but it looked really cool, and I thought that was a great way to try it. And I'm sure that if you don't have wrapping paper like I'm using, that something like a plastic bag cut up and attached to different sticks could work really well also. And there was also, in the kite competition, there was some people who had submitted handmade kites. One participant had a really, really large kite that was maybe 8 feet wide and probably 5-ish feet tall. And it was titled "Letters to My Younger Self," and it looked like it was made out of some sort of vinyl material. I didn't see them fly it, so I'm not sure how that looked in the sky, but just looking at it as they were holding it, it looks really beautiful, and it had a long strip of what looked like postage stamps, also of this vinyl material that was kind of hanging off of it. I'm sure there was a lot of backstory into the theme that they were going on, which was letters to my younger self. Another person had a handmade kite that looks like it had been stamped, I'm sure probably with some block print stamps, which is really beautiful. And there was different flowers and different colors, and I wish I had I'm sure they announced it at some point where they had allowed the artists to maybe share more of their backstory, so I'll definitely make sure to try to do that next time. But just looking at them, you can just tell that there was so much meaning and thought put into them in their preparations. And there was also the youth competition where lots of young people decorated the kites that they had for sale for a small donation of $5 and did all kinds of really special designs on them. They had markers available and stamps and things that they could use. And some young youth also made their own as well. And the special thing about LA State Historic Park is that there's a lot of history within the park and how it came to be and the different phases that it's been through. And so my understanding is that the Kite Festival really started as a protest or a stand against the Dodgers gondola project that they had proposed, which would not only uproot and displace a lot of Chinatown and its community members, but also obstruct the park space that, is visible above the park. And there was a lot of opposition to this plan, and one way to show that this space mattered to people was to fly kites and to show that this space is something that people really care about and it matters to a lot of people, and it's something that's worth protecting and worth saving and preserving as it is. The Stop the Gondola project has, as far as the years that I've been there, have always been an organization that has a booth there with more information about their campaign and the story of that, and it's still ongoing. If you're interested in learning more, there's updates every few months about the status of the project and whether or not it's going to be taking place. So I would encourage you to look into that more if you're interested in learning more. The organization is Stop the Gondola, and they have a plethora of information about that project. I hope you learned something new and perhaps were inspired to try making a kite of your own. If you start now and practice and perhaps fly a few kites of your own, maybe you can join next year's kite festival and bring your friends and bring your kites and see if you can get them flying. I'm sure that you will. It's actually quite simple once you give it a try. As long as it's, again, light and not too heavy or weighed down with tape or heavy materials, it's likely going to fly, and it's really fun actually to get it up there. And especially now the kite festival has grown to such a big event. I want to say today there was several thousand people. It was really densely packed, and there was people on the grass and people on the bridge and all across the park. And it was also really difficult to find parking, which is okay because they were encouraging people to take public transportation as well. So yeah, check it out next year in May, and hopefully you can check it out and bring your own kite. Have a good day. Bye-bye.